Hey, welcome to the Sit Down. I'm your man, Rod Love. And hey, everybody know the best co-host in the business. We have to my left none other than Sister Wynn. How you doing this evening, Sister Wynn?
I am doing amazing. How are you doing today,
I'm
Mr.
doing
Love?
great. I'm doing great. And we got Doc Polite, who's always bringing something new. That hat looks like it's about my size. I don't know about that jacket, but Doc, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. Hanging in there.
You hanging in there,
Just
man?
yeah, just finish up my red pea soup. So
Hey, well, I tell you
doing
what,
good.
I'm not gonna leave this audience in any suspense because Doc did his I don't know if Doc created a dossier on you or what, but he did his homework on you. But we are pleased to welcome Mr. Derek Coles to the sit down. Hey, where those applause at, Doc?
Uh,
He got to look
see,
at
you,
his
you you
board.
caught me off guard there.
Hey, but welcome to the show. And
But we'll get them.
but in true disclosure, I will say that me and Miss Wynn had the honor of going to Pastor King's church on Men in Black Day, which takes place once a year. And you had the opportunity to speak. He introduced you as author extraordinaire, and to the listening audience, Mr. Coles has authored a book, and the name of the book is A Letter to My Son. There's no love in the street. So once again, welcome to the sit down.
Yeah, yeah.
So what, Miss Wynn, where do we jump off at? Because I mean, there's a lot to unpack here.
It really is. It really is. Mr. Cole, so let everybody know where you're from.
I was born in Danville, Virginia. Um, in my early years, I ended up moving to New Jersey, and then I moved to Virginia, back to Georgia, and then back again Florida.
Hey, so when you say
Okay.
Danville, isn't there a famous racetrack?
Yes,
In
it
it?
is. Yes, it is.
Okay, man, I can't remember. I got some hunting buddies in Virginia.
The
And,
first race car driver was black from my.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, boy, I tell you, he got history too.
History.
He got history. So I want to dive off into this because this is a 45-minute show,
Okay.
and you're gonna start getting peppered not just from myself, but Miss Wynn and Dr. Light.
All right.
But one of the things that we heard and that captured our attention is you have some history that one you shouldn't be ashamed to tell it because it may help some other folks.
Mhm.
But that history that we heard is some history that you got in trouble back in the day, and you served some time. And we heard you articulate that that was nothing to be proud of, but at the same time, you curved it from the perspective of your story can help.
Yes, it can.
So tell us a little bit, give us some background on it.
Um, it was back in when was it? The early part of the 2024. My brother had got into an altercation. He was somewhere where he didn't supposed to be, and when I got to the hospital at the location, I got into it with some of the guys that had something to do with my brother get shot. And so when I go inside the emergency room and my mom's in there, she's crying, very upset, and the guy that I had spoke to outside, he approached me inside the emergency room. Ma'am had words, and one thing led to another. I shot him 4 times in the chest inside the emergency room.
Man, what? And so as a result of that, you got arrested, you went through the court system,
Yeah, I got sentenced to 23 years.
sentenced to 20. So did this guy lose his life? I mean,
No, he lived. He lived. The location where it was at, I think, pretty much
saved. In the house.
Yeah,
So you got 20 some odd years, and how much time did you actually do?
I did 8 years flat.
8 years. 8 years. So here's some of here. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it out. Can you share with me the most pivotal moment in your life when you looked upon this and you saw your life was about to change forever? After that,
To be honest, I was very nervous because I never been inside the system before. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. I heard stories and how people get raped and all that type of stuff in prison. And so I'm young. I'm 24 years old. I don't know what to expect. I just ain't too long to learn how to walk. again.
24 years old. So let me hit the pause on that. Never been in trouble in your life.
No.
Okay, so here's something that I'm curious about. You're at the hospital.
Yeah.
24-year-old, and you didn't have any prohibitions against you from having a gun, owning a gun, because you were not a felon. What led you to have that gun in the hospital?
I was a drug dealer, and I've been shot before. I've been shot in the head and the back, and I had altercations in the street with other people, and that was my way of having protection. I said that I'd never let nobody shoot me again. So before I get shot again.
You said again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man.
So after through,
Yeah, you see, hey, Doc, I'm trying to. And Doc, you heard me.
Hey,
I was hearing
listen.
something.
Listen, I, not to make light of him, but when I talk to you guys about the streets, y'all don't understand that it's a whole different code. And he's articulating that very well. See, y'all listen to Doc and y'all like, not on, him in the street.
It's not that, but
I tell you,
attention.
and I tell you because when you come up and there's a certain code that the environment in which you find yourself is run by, you have to, it's survival. It's about understanding where you are and what you must do to be okay. So I didn't stop carrying a gun until I was like 45. I mean, on me somewhere, wherever I went. And I understand what he's talking about.
so
And the thing is though, what I want to ask is, why did you make the choice? Why do you think you made the choice to go down that path you chose?
Leadership. I'm not ashamed to say it. I forgave both of them, but my biological father wasn't in my life, and my stepdad, he was on alcohol and drugs. So,
Okay.
So you make the case that a male role model makes a difference. I mean, we all know when you look at research, yeah, it talks about it makes a difference, but just hearing it come out of your mouth with what you've experienced, I think that is a lot to be said for with those that are listening.
Oh, absolutely, because they do play a big role. They play a big factor in the household because look at my son. He's in prison doing 45 years. I was gone out of his life for 8 years. And when I came home from prison, the streets already heading.
So let me ask you this. So because I'm a counselor. Okay. So my point of view about it is, what in your environment do you think could have led you to make different choices, even without the father being there? I hear that a lot of times, but what do you think you would have done different if they were there?
The most important thing, I think, listen, is being humble and listen to the older adults tell me, stop doing that, because you're going to end up down the wrong path. And I don't want to put it all on fatherhood, because like I ain't have like aunties, grandmothers, my mom. I had other people around me that was trying to help me, but when I got a taste of that life being in the streets, and then I started selling drugs, and then I became a big time drug dealer, it led me on to where I didn't care no more.
What did you think your outcome was at that point in your life? Hey, listen. Okay, I'll yield the floor. Go ahead, Miss.
Go ahead.
But listen, what did you see a life path? Where did you see your life heading when you were in the midst of the game?
In the beginning, I thought I was happy because I had all that money. You come out of poverty and you ain't never had anything, and you start seeing a couple thousand, then a couple thousand leads to 50,000, then you see a couple $100,000, and you start driving luxury cars and multiple women, I still wasn't happy at the end.
And
I wasn't happy with none
why,
of it
why weren't you happy?
because the way that I chased to get it, I wasn't at peace, and I didn't have God in my life.
And you had your head on a swivel.
Yeah,
And you know, you bring up something that I think, for the most part, everybody knows those factors exist. You talked about poverty. You know, I think not any of us in here did not come from poverty. So, and I say this with all due respect, I don't use that as the crutch. But you said something else that was equally powerful when you said, by the time you came home, the streets had already taken your son. I think that's powerful.
yeah, it took him, and when I came home, I was trying to talk to him. I was trying to, and he didn't want to listen to what I was saying. When I was in prison, I was surrounded by some Christian brothers, and they was trying to get me on the right track because they seen how I was when I came into the system.
Yeah.
And they already had been down 15, 20 years. So when they pulled me to the side and tried to talk to me, they said, "Look, you gotta get home and try to save your son, all your son." And then so what happened? I couldn't save him.
You walking us down this path because that leads into a question that we were all, you know, talking about asking you is, what emotions ran through you because you never went to prison before,
No,
and now you're faced with 20-something years going to prison. How did you? And I guess there's no way to prepare for this, but what ran through your mind? What emotions ran through your mind, and how did you, in as much as you could, prepare yourself for what was about to take place with you entering into the prison system?
well, I was kind of different. I was a different type of drug dealer. I always save my money. I saved my money for a rainy day because I knew this wasn't gonna be good forever. So I bonded myself out. I paid for my own lawyer. I put $5,000 on my books and my brother's books when I went to the penitentiary. So when I went, I was already set when I went. So I didn't want nothing from nobody. I was already mentally ready to prepare myself to do my time. I committed the crime, so I said I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna do it.
So what was some of the educational tools that was at your fingertips that you got yourself involved with while you were incarcerated?
I did a little brick mason when I was in prison, but I didn't really care for that. I didn't really care for that.
What's brick mason?
Brick mason when they building buildings, the similar blocks when you're building walls and stuff like that, and they want me. So I ended up getting I was a barber before I went to the penitentiary, so I ended up my whole 8 years I was cut half prison. Yeah.
I can't, I don't know. I'm just cranial. I can't skip past it. When you just said, you knew that life wasn't gonna last and that you save your money. But the question that was being asked is, how did you prepare yourself emotionally? And you say you put money on your books and your brother's books, and I'm learning what, and Doc is gonna probably, I'm not stupid, but I understand what I mean. I mean, basically, you put money so that you can buy commissary and things of that nature, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. I still haven't heard how you would prepare yourself, because it's more than just putting money on your books for your commissary. You're going into an environment that all kind of things take place. And psychologically, how do you get yourself conditioned to where you're in a whole nother state of affairs now? There's different rules in it.
Well, I've always been alone. I stayed to myself. So it wasn't hard for me to adapt when I got into the system. I stayed to myself, and then when they started shipping me from prison to prison, I was surrounded by guys I knew from the street. So when I got to one of the facilities I was with, I was cool with a great friend of mine. He passed away. He's not here today. His name was Kevin Carter. And me and him to work out together. And then a brother of mine named Muhammad. Man, we was real close. That's who I hung out with every day in prison. So they was humble brothers. They weren't into no crazy activity.
Man, Mr. Cole, I gotta help me with this, because I don't want young people that's watching this thinking that when you go do time, you go into what's that place? When you share, what do you call those time shares? That this wasn't no time share that you went
no.
to, and that it's not easy, and then the environment in which you live, it is. I mean, you got somebody telling you when to get up, when to go to bed, but worse than that, you're within an environment that none of the rules governing how you live in a society, if you would. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's living, it's just chaos, but it's not like going to a timeshare.
No, it's not. And this is the difference where I tell the young generation, your mindset is very important. You have to change your mindset. And I didn't know the things that I know now. I didn't know that the government made $2,500 a month or $28,000 a month in different facilities from the feds and from the state. That's how much money they gross in. So
From you being a commodity.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
cattle. I'm cattle. I'm just like cattle. Just like
But you're not blaming.
no, I'm not blaming
Okay,
the judges.
yeah, okay.
Because I put myself in the
Okay,
penitentiary.
okay.
You know, and
Yeah.
I explain to people, your
Right.
action is what you get in the end of your
Right.
result.
Yeah.
But see, now see, for me, that I'm hearing him, and his story is very different from what I encountered with credible messengers. And because a lot of them will get out there and they will glorify and not so much take responsibility, they will try to twist it and say, well, you know, I got caught up in the system. No, he's saying he made a choice. He
Yeah,
knew what he
yeah.
was doing. He made a choice. And when it came time for him to pay the cost of that choice, he did. And see, and that's a big difference. So what he's saying is he's showing contrition to these young
That's the
men.
key. Yeah.
Yeah. And instead of trying to spin it in such a way like you know, I was this bad dude. Now, you know, all of a sudden I changed everything, and you know, the rainbow come out and the birds flying and chirping it now in my life, and you know, but I'm still running in the same circle
Right.
in many ways.
So what are some of the obstacles you had to overcome once you got released into society?
Before you answer that, let me let our audience know that this is the sit down, and we have the honor and privilege of having Mr. Coles in the studio with us. And this is one of those exchanges that should be valued. And at the same time, as Doc mentioned, this is a person who has shown remorse, been contrite, but what he's doing bigger and better than that is he's out there talking to young people and telling young people, you may not want to do it like this, because here are the consequences for that. So, Mr. Cole, once again, we want to thank you for being with us with the sit down. For those of you who might have a comment or a question for Mr. Cole, you can call us at area code 407-921-6195. Once again, that number is 407-921-6195. Okay, back to you, Mr. Cole. You might want to phrase that question again.
Okay. The question was, what obstacles did you encounter once you got out to start your life skill coaching?
Well, in the beginning, when I first got released from the penitentiary, it was hard because Virginia is a Commonwealth state. They don't, for real, they don't really believe in giving second chances. It's coming out again to society. So I couldn't get a job. I was struggling. And so in the process, when I was struggling, I went back to my old ways. I went back to the streets, and but this time it was a little different. I started robbing big time drug dealers.
So with that, then that sounds, you went back to your old way. So did you have to go back in again once you started doing
No.
that, or what stopped? What
Yeah, that's
brick
what
wall?
good point. What stopped you?
What
Because
is-
I don't want to sit up here creating another or writing the script for a Nino Brown movie. I don't want anybody to get it. But yeah, what changed you?
When that angel came to visit,
Mm.
and the angel showed me my faith, and he showed me hell.
Mm.
He said the next drug deal that you commit, you're gonna die in sin.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And if you don't change your life,
Mm-hmm.
this was gonna happen. I was happy. And I see me smiling on the other side. But I didn't know how I was gonna be living. I didn't know what type of life I was gonna be living.
Right.
Was you connected to your faith at the time, or was it somewhat of a distance to you? How did this? I mean, I hear what you're saying. That angel showed themselves
Well,
to you.
I grew up in church.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
But I strayed from it as I got older.
gotcha.
And my faith was very, very weak.
Now,
When that angel came to me and he showed me what was gonna happen, I got up that morning, told my wife, I said, we going to church.
Mhm.
I said, get the girls dressed, we're going to church. And she said, why? I said, because we got to go to church. I said, it's not something bad gonna happen to me.
Mhm.
And
but let me stop you because I'm also a man of very deep faith, and I know that angel wasn't the first warning you got.
no, that wasn't the first time.
So-
that
so-
wasn't the first time.
That's when you
Really?
listened, though.
I
Right.
listened that time.
Right.
I have
Right.
had plenty of encounters with angels,
Yeah.
plenty of times, but I
Mhm.
ignored it.
I wanted you to emphasize that because what a lot of people think is you might get that one wake up call, but oftentimes God is intersecting. He's sending people towards you to make you change your path, and we often ignore it.
Well, the night that I got shot, I felt like something bad was gonna happen to me.
Mm.
I felt it. My mom, because my mom, every 4 years, my mom's birthday fall on Mother's Day.
Mhm.
Every 4 years, I got shot. And matter of fact, it's this year.
Mm.
This coming up May. And when I wanted to take my mom some roses and some flowers, she said, Dirk, just go home. Because I just got robbed. A guy had robbed me for some cocaine. And I wanted vengeance.
Mm.
I felt like in my heart when I seen him, I was going to shoot him on sight. And my mom said, Dirk, just go home. I feel real bad. Something going to happen. And I told my mom, if it happened, it happened.
Wow.
So, Mr. Cole, and here's what I want you to do, man, because we still have plenty of time, but the camera's over there.
Okay.
Your story is compelling, and again, I don't want young folk listening to this thinking that we're writing a script, because I mean, and something that I heard you say too, and I think it needs to be said. You said your faith was weak at one point.
Yes, my face was weak because you can't live for two masters.
Yeah.
You can't be on this side and be on this side. So my faith was more over here with that pistol, that triple beam scale, and that cocaine. I couldn't serve Christ and then serve the devil at the same time. It's not gonna work. Them two elements is not on the same balance.
The Bible say they spit out lukewarm water.
Yes. So when my faith, and I went to the church that day in North Carolina, it's Pelham, North Carolina, Smith Chapel Baptist Church. Reverend Parker was preaching that day at church. And you know how when black folks, when you walk into the church and they turn around and they look at you, they walk into the church. He was already in the middle of his sermon when I came there.
Turn around and look at you.
Everybody in the church turned around and looked at me. So everybody from that neighborhood, everybody knew I was a drug dealer. So it wasn't obvious. Everybody knew that what type of lifestyle I lived. And I sat down for probably like 5 minutes, and I just got up and I walked to the altar and fell to my knees, and I said, Lord, I can't do this no more. I'm tired. I said, whatever you want me to do, just change my life. And this led to me living the way I'm living now.
Wow.
You have to be careful of the things that you ask for, because the devil can give you blessings just as well as God can give you blessings.
Now, what temptations came your way after you decided?
What temptations?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, because the devil gonna
change
always
my mindset.
the devil is gonna always come by. I say you do drive-bys.
Yeah,
So usually it's like maybe a lick that it might have been a $100,000-$200,000 lick. You could have, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I had offers after I got saved.
Yeah.
I had guys to call me, but I was tired.
Yeah.
My soul was tired. It's a difference
Know when
when
you're tired.
it's a difference when I'm okay. But when that soul get tired, that's
Yeah.
a wrap. My
Yeah.
soul was tired. I was
Exactly.
tired of running. I used to wear bulletproof vests all the time. That's how deep I was into the drug game, and I was in the street. I didn't play with it. If I'm gonna live by that, that's how I carried it.
Yeah. You was
You know,
you
for
was
those
down
of
there
you
for
who
real.
tuned in once again, and I don't want to diminish it. Mr. Coles has written a book, A Letter to My Son. There's No Love in the Streets. And how is that book available? Is it
Go on, you can get it off Amazon, or they can reach me through Facebook or Instagram.
okay? And what's your Facebook? Is it Derek Coles?
D Nice Cole and Derek Cole.
Okay. And
Now-
Doc, go ahead, Miss Wayne.
I have a question. Looking forward, what are your goals for the future, and how do you plan to continue making positive impact in your community?
But the vision that me and God, I call it God's vision. It ain't my vision.
Okay.
So the vision that He has given me, I want to open up a group home someday for the youth. I want to do things in the summer where I have my own sprinter van, and I'm taking kids on like trips and stuff, and spend quality time with them and teach them about fatherhood, teach them about how to be productive and go out into the world and society and be your own boss. If you don't want to work for somebody else, if you don't feel like you want to get up every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, well, become your own boss. Go ahead and be an entrepreneur and go ahead and do your own thing. That's what I do now. I ain't worked for nobody in 5 years.
Wow.
Do you let them know that there's
What-
hard work associated?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
hard work, and
Yeah.
you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
struggle, but that's where your faith step in.
Mm-hmm.
See, your faith gonna step in. Okay, I'm going through a hard time right now. I know this bill got to be paid. But am I gonna go pick up that gun and that pack again so I can make sure that bill paid? No, I struggled it out. I got on my knees and said, Lord, make a way. And I have had blessings cut to me out of nowhere that have been given to me. And I didn't know it was gonna be given to me, and it was given to me, and I was like, wow, I couldn't do nothing but break down and cry. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
And the other side of
Yeah.
that too is the fact that you know better than anybody else that there's consequences associated with picking up that gun or picking up that pack and going and doing something.
Well, if you carry that gun, you're gonna use it eventually. There's no way you can get around it, especially if you live in a life like I live. You eventually you're gonna use it. Or somebody gonna use their gun on you.
Wow. What is some advice you would give young people or individuals who is at risk right now, who is trying to be that little thug nook on the street, but
Yeah,
not quite
question.
there yet?
Good question.
What would you tell that young man?
Find your peace and find a relationship with Christ and ask God to give you your way, show you your way. Because, see, this is the thing that people get confused. We here for a little short time. Your time is eventually going to run out. And the first thing God going to ask you when you got to stand in front of Jesus, what did you do with the quality time I gave you when you was here? You know where all the opportunities is at? In the graveyard.
So now, when you say you're going to tell him to find his way, what does that look like? Because we hearing
when
the
I-
young man is hearing you, but
But when I say find your way, how can I say I love you? How can I say I love this brother? How can I say I love you? The only way that you can find your way, you got to start loving God and loving yourself.
And I hear exactly.
Go
what
ahead
you're
and
saying,
preach,
I
bro.
know- And what'd you say, Doc?
I said, go ahead and preach.
Yeah. But then here, and I hear clearly. But one of the things that we all understand too is there's a lot of noise out there. That noise, what you social media,
Yes.
these celebrities that's telling kids to live like they're living when that ain't real.
Well, today's music is poison.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it really is.
It's poison. It ain't nothing. I'm gonna use Cat Williams for example. How he went on Shay Shay show and
Oh yeah.
and said
Oh
what he
yeah.
said.
Oh yeah.
When I feel like when you get to a certain level in life,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you famous and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's other people that you gonna visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to choose a door, which one you going to go through.
Mhm.
The door going to go straight, or you going to go with the door with Satan. So you got to make a choice what you want with your life. Do you want to spend the rest of your life in the penitentiary doing 45 to life? Or you want to spend the rest of your life being happy with a picket fence, raising your children, living a productive life? Because we only got one life.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do with it?
You're right. And you got to get to these kids younger. You got to get to them, yeah. And to hear your story. And again, you know, I'm old school. I talk about it from the perspective of consequences. I don't think we speak enough today about consequences. We see a lot of what's going on, but I don't think we do enough education with young people. And again, that's another reason why I'm glad you're here to say, if you take this door, here's what you need to realize is behind that door. A whole bunch of different consequences. You take this door, and I love where you said it too. There's gonna be some struggle,
Oh,
but hard work.
Yeah.
it's gonna be struggle, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Since I started my business, I almost lost my business 2 or 3 times.
Mm.
But I didn't give up. I kept fighting. I didn't give up. Next month is my last payment on my truck.
See that, yeah, and now you can feel not only the accomplishment, but you get a raise.
Yeah, I get a raise. Because everything I make now is it's an accomplishment to me
Yeah.
that I can start saving and try to start up another business.
Mhm.
See, I'm not just focused on just my trucking business. I'm focused because I have another business that you can see right
Yeah.
here. I'm focused on what. See, this is my main focus. This is gonna make me get this right here.
Mhm.
So you got to have money. See, this is what I learned when I started wanting to become a motivated speaker and a life coach. And when you don't get funding from the state and people don't want to help, they look at me, oh, he's a thug. He sold crack cocaine to people in community. I had to go in front of Tallahassee in front of the board twice on intercom through video
Yeah.
chat. And they turned me down. One lady asked me, she said, why do you think we should grant you the opportunity to go inside the prison system, to go inside people's homes and life coach people's children? And I said, she said, are you in this for the money? So I asked her, straight like I'm looking at you and looking at the camera. I said, how much have you made? How much you make a year? And she said, what they got to do with it? And her supervisor answered the young man's question. She said she make almost like $70,000-$80,000 a year. I said, ma'am, I don't hit that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to save a life.
And one of the things I did, and I think I read this correctly, when we refer to you as an author, and maybe I did mention this, life coach, but you are a licensed life coach.
Yeah, I'm registered, LLC, all day, every day.
You know, I tell you, this is the kind of conversation that I know you're doing this in Ocala with young people in that community, but here's something that I gotta ask as well. I hear oftentimes folk that are out there working with troubled young people. Then I ask the question, what is your relationship with law enforcement that's out there patrolling these communities? Their charge is public safety. Is there any connection, and I'm gonna use the word, helping law enforcement do their jobs when it comes to public safety?
Well, I have tried to get into the system. For some reason, I can't get into the system. So that's when I got on my knees and asked God to give me his vision, how he want me to go about it. This is gonna be my ticket to this. So the more money that I raise through my business, I can do more with this. So when the time comes and everybody want to give me money to help me produce this, I don't need that no more from you. Because God provided for me to do what I need to do to get that. So the more I work for him, the more I'm going to be able to provide into this, and the more I can spread out through the world. I don't want to just go just in a village. I want to go everywhere.
Well, for those of you who are watching, you can get a hold of Mr. Coles at area code 912-318-9164. And so you do public speaking, you're an author, you are a life coach, and you have your private, I mean, you like me, Doc, and Miss Wynn. You're a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm serious about it. I don't play with my life because like Mike Epps said on radio show he did on the broadcast, we live in a rented life. Our life is a rented life.
Yeah.
We can't take none of this. I
Yeah,
don't care how much
you're right.
cocaine, heroin, fentanyl. I don't care how much drugs or how much, if you a millionaire and you don't hit it in the stocks or whatever. I ain't seen no hearses behind no bank
You're right.
truck
It
behind
won't
the
be.
hearse. And
Right.
it ain't gonna be.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a shell and a box, and your soul gonna leave that shell.
You're right.
I'm glad you said that because I always bring up the CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs, and for all the money in the world, he couldn't escape death. And too often we glorify the wrong thing. And I'm gonna tell you now, what I see for you is keep moving forward. Don't look for the money. The money will come. The money will come because sometimes people are standing next to you watching you, and there's a moment where they're gonna step in and lift you up and help you because they see the work that you did. I got a friend, and Rod will tell you about it, and he's a pastor right now, and he used to be off the chain. I mean, what you did, he made you look like a baby. But now, he's on one of the national church networks, and he's done a lot. A couple of years ago, me and him helped two, matter of fact, twice in a year. We help wanted individuals turn themselves in, and they were on the manhunt,
Mhm.
and so God, I watched God just bless this brother. Why? Because his heart was right. His focus is right. And he's sincere about what he does. And as long as you're sincere and God is pleased with what you're doing, he will reward you openly. The word tell you that. He will
I
reward
call
you
that not to cut you off. I call
openly.
it law of detachment.
Hmm.
Law of detachment.
The law of detachment.
Go ahead. Go explain that because
What I mean by the law of detachment, when you used to of the type of money you have and you attached to it, you don't want to,
okay.
and you don't want to let it go, and that's all you focus on. You tunnel vision on just money, 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 money.
Hmm.
I don't have that tunnel vision on that no more. I've been got rid of that.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So
It is.
so my law attachment, whatever I do in life, I put God first, and I ask God what He want me to do for Him. See, that's the thing I'll try to tell young men, and I try to give them structure. Don't focus on these worldly things. Focus on what God, because we all have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to ask God, what is my purpose? Why you brought me here on this planet to live? What is my goal? What is my focus you want me to do with this life? Because this life is not mine. It belongs to Him.
Right.
So that's how I change my mindset. If you don't change your mindset the way you think, you're going to
Right.
always remain stuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
something that,
that's true.
and I'm going to turn it back over to you real quick because before we started the show, we were having some conversation, and our executive producer say, "Save it for the show, save it for the show." But you know, we talk about everything, but one of the things in particular, and it's much needed when we talk about those young people out there and needing to see positive, driven black males that look like them. You brought in today the truth behind the truth, and go ahead and recite because you were about to.
I'm always jotting when I'm in my truck. So if I'm waiting to get loaded or I got to pick a load, I take my pen and I write down. So I don't forget what I said. So I wrote this a while back, and I said the truth beyond truth. There are more black male than female births in the United States. However, by the time two of them reach 18, and you factor in homicide, suicide, and incarceration, black females outnumber black males 7-1. The black male is effectively dying at a rate of an endangered species. It's just like you go over to Africa and you got these hunters killing these elephants, and they put a law where you can't kill them. They are becoming endangered species. So when you go in the hood and you take another young boy killing another black male, he's an endangered.
See, I'm glad you because I was about to. See, sometimes it don't pay for me to dive in because sometimes you be diving into the short side of the pool. I'm glad I let you finish because you did bring it to the point that I want to support you on, and that is we got to be stronger from a community perspective when you talk about family, when you talk about culture, when you talk about how we're losing. these men, these boys, we're losing them based on some things that we could prevent from happening. We're losing them when you talk about murder, when you talk about suicide, mental health.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a big
yeah,
thing.
that's a big one.
I tried to kill myself once because I was tired of the way I was living, and I wanted to take a whole bottle of pills. I ended up taking about like 5, 6 pills. They didn't get enough to kill me, but I was
Just the
housed.
thought.
I was housed to drugs, and I was throwing up, and I was vomiting. But it's been plenty of times I thought about suicide.
You know, Doc is, and I defer when it comes to just talking about the cranial aspect, the psychological. I defer to Doc, but you brought up some things, man, here that I strongly stand by. What I'm going to say is the faith community, building stronger families, building better relationships, and I bring law enforcement into that for a reason, is because I don't have the stereotype whatsoever that law enforcement is bad. Now, you may have some bad actors, but for the most part, the black community calls law enforcement more than anybody else does.
Well, to add to that note, the night that I got shot, it was an officer that saved my life. I was regurgitating, I was throwing up blood because when I got shot in the head and I got shot in the back, my lungs collapsed. This man scooped me up, put me in his arms, and he helped me like this. And he said, just stay woke, don't close your eyes, don't go to sleep on me.
That's a testimony there.
And I just looked at him because I got to the point where I couldn't talk no more because I was choking on my own blood. And he said, just hold on, the ambulance coming, the ambulance coming.
See, people don't hear those stories.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this. He was a white officer. So tell me why
Somebody doing their job.
he was doing his job. And to this day, I had never seen that man again in my life. And he worked for Danville Police in Danville, Virginia.
Man.
Wow.
Doc, what's your thoughts, man? We winding down. We got 5 minutes to go.
Well, Brother Coles, you have a powerful platform, which can certainly change life. I just want to encourage you to continue to utilize it and not get twisted, not allow yourself to get sidetracked. You know, when you have and hold greatness, many times you get those little extra fights that you have to get into.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
you know, we pray for your strength and that God encamps people around you who can protect you and stand with you as you do. It's not easy work.
No,
It's not easy work.
It's very hard. I'm not
Yeah.
going to sit here and get on national TV and say that, oh, it's so easy. This is another thing I want to say that I want to put out there to the young people. Don't think just because you get saved and you get baptized and give your life to Christ, like everything.
Hey, they don't know. The battle just started. The battle just started.
That's the beginning.
I don't want nobody to get that twisted and get that confused. Oh, just because you get saved, all of a sudden, yeah, God gonna bring all this.
You know,
on me, like
You know,
everything
we laughing about this, but I want y'all to take this. Rod and them know they know I'm a big mouth. I say what I want to say, but this is the problem with where Christianity is going, because we're telling people all these wonderful things and we're not making it real. Christians struggle with everything. They struggle with everything that everybody else does.
It's the
God,
hardest, especially
yeah.
when you take a young man from out the street
Yeah.
and he changed his life. I don't play about this. This is the best plug I had in my life. The plug that I had when I was selling cocaine was Colombians out of Harlem. This plug right here ain't gonna betray me. This plug ain't gonna call my family and say, if you don't bring me my money, I'm gonna kill everybody in your family.
Do y'all know what that means? What that means? What he got on the shirt?
You know what the plug? I know what the plug is, Doc.
What the plug mean?
Hey, that's your connect.
Yeah,
That's your
your
connect.
supply. That's your good connect, your strongest connect right there. That's gonna keep your business
the
going.
best supply I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I'll never run out of faith as long as I continue to keep living by
Yeah.
his rules and his laws.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Mr. Cole, we're winding down, and I want to reserve the last 2 minutes for you to look at that red light and just reveal anything that you want people to know how they can get a hold of you. But this is your opportunity, and once again, man, thank you.
You can reach me on Facebook, D Nice Coles, and Derek Coles. All my platforms is connected together. The quickest way to contact me is through Facebook, because if you contact me through Facebook under D Nice Coles, and I accept your request to want to be on my platform, I can connect you to everything else. So
You got a
if you-
website?
Do I have a website?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Now,
I don't.
on
I
the
have not
strength
set up
of Let's Talk Nation, we're going to offer you some media services pro bono and help you get those things that you need to make sure that you're able to service the population that you need to service. Okay.
Doc, before we get him out of here, pull up that flyer with Mr. Cole that you did. Did you get a chance to see
I
it?
didn't see it yet.
Oh,
Yes, pull that up,
okay.
man, and then we'll definitely shoot it to you. We've been so busy today. We intended to get it to you earlier, but after I saw this, I told Doc.
You talking about the flyer you sent me or another flyer?
This
that'd
the one?
be the same one.
Oh, this one. Okay. Hey, and Doc did an excellent job of. I don't know.
In a Nautica shirt,
I don't know.
Was that it, Doc?
the green shirt.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh yeah, you did some serious researching, because that happened that was some years ago. So for you to find, I was at a youth event at the Girls and Boys Club when I took that picture.
But Doc
What,
knows.
did
Oh,
he
yeah,
say- did he say on the beginning?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
hey, like I told you, I vetted you because, hey, well, there's some people out there pretending and offending.
Yeah, no, I don't pretend. It
Yeah,
don't need,
so-
it don't need to pretend.
Well,
Because your lives
we-
catch up with you then.
Yeah.
He did an
Yep,
excellent
that-
job.
there you
man.
go.
Excellent job.
Yeah.
Okay, can y'all see that?
No,
No.
I just showed it to him on the side. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, you did some real
He did,
searching.
yeah.
That was at the Girls and Boys Club. For him, because I said it to her when I walked in, and I said, for him to see that, I said, wow, he went back for 4 or 5 years on me.
Hey, Doc, you caught him when he just came out of the gym. You know, he got the pistols right there. Hey, but Mr. Coleman, once again, seriously, this is what makes a difference in the lives of others. Just appreciate you being committed
Yeah.
to your craft of helping change lives, and you'll always be welcome here. Appreciate you.
I mean, I love it, and I thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to get my name out there, because I'm real passionate about helping people. I really want to help people. It's about love.
It is.
And the only way that you can get love out there, you got to show people that you love.
Gotta show love.
Yep, gotta show.
Okay, once again, your Facebook page is.
Be Nice Cold and Derek Cold. So I got two pages, and I got other platforms connected to that. Build Today's Board into Tomorrow Men.
I tell you what.
All right.
we
And,
greatly
and
appreciate
before
it.
you go, Miss Squee, give him my contact information
Yes, sir.
and reach out to me. We'll plan to assist you, sir.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Doc Polite is the real deal, so
Yay.
he'll definitely come through.
Yes.
But once again, thank you for being here, and to my co-host, hey, y'all did it again tonight. Appreciate it. Hey, until next week on the sit down.
Hey,
tune
hey,
in.
Rod, I think our girl over there learning.
Yeah, she is. She know how to.
She learning to get in where she fit in.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
For those of you who tune in every Monday from 6 to 6:45, tonight we ran a little bit over, but it was all worth it.
Yes, they
Tune in at the 7 o'clock show for Let's Talk Nation with the General Attorney Greg Jackson and myself. But hey, once again, we appreciate you being
I
here.
appreciate
You're
y'all
always
having me.
welcome.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
We'll see you next week.
Have a good night.